We have had the field shrink yet again tonight. Vivek Ramaswamy will never again grace our television screens as a presidential candidate. David Plouffe, are you shocked with the Trump endorsement that apparently went along with his bowing out?
Yeah, well, we'll see. I'd like his total number of votes must have been what, 10,000,
something like that.
Think about that. All that time, going to all the counties twice, all the money. Remarkable.
Yeah, but the podcast, David. Yeah. He's going to have. Oh, he does have there's a podcast.
And he might have a Fox show in 2025. So yeah.
Well, only the best.
Yeah.
Only Ben Shapiro has a more annoying voice. So I guess there's a future if Ben can do it. He can do it.
I will say about him, I sometimes feel like I've totally lost my mind covering American politics, and Trump makes you feel that way all the time. There was one kind of little thing I was holding on to, which is that like the polling was very consistent. The more Republicans saw of him, the less they liked him. And I just felt like, okay, I'm just like
not just me. It's not just me. It's what
crazy
you're
here.
Yeah.
Like my impression of this is the same as the median Republican voter.
The
Thank
thing
you.
that was so amazing was, and the thing I will miss about Vivek Ramaswamy is the way and the special way that Nikki Haley despised him. I feel like her red-hot hatred of him was just, it was its own thing. It was fun to watch. It was entertaining, and I'll miss it.
But this idea that, Donald Trump didn't even try, he didn't even show up for the debates, that's not true. He might not have been in Iowa. He had a huge, well-organized machine in the state of Iowa, and he might not have participated in those debates, but in 2024, with political TV, broadcast TV, streaming TV, every social media outlet, he almost doesn't need to. So I feel like the Trump campaign is going to kind of want to flex here and say, like, everyone just came to us no matter what. They were working hard. And while he goes to all these trials, why is he going there? Because all our TV cameras are there. And we're not at his rallies, but he's using them as stump speeches. So his whole, like, you all come to me, please. He takes every media opportunity he can, and there's a lot of
it. Will be interesting to see what happens this week. There is a New Hampshire Republican debate. I think we can assume that Donald Trump will not participate in it. We know that Vivek Ramaswamy will not be in it. It will presumably just be Haley and DeSantis again if both choose to participate. Is there the same percentage for each of them in participating heading into New Hampshire?
I think they're both beginning, if they hadn't already, the presidential campaign of 4 years from now. I think they both know they're not getting this nomination. And the question is, how do I exit this campaign? How do I build up capital with these voters who will never again in their lives get a chance to vote for Donald Trump? This is their last time. There won't be another Donald Trump candidacy 4 years from now.
I have so much to say about that. So, you can just stop it with another chance to vote. You can just stop
which
it there.
is part of the ingratiation game they have been playing with these voters, because these are going to be the voters who decide the next Republican nomination 4 years from now.
But I mean, the challenge for Ron DeSantis, I could see Nikki Haley having a second life. She's been she's an ambassador to the UN. She can say she's been for Trump, against Trump. She sort of fudges her position. Ron DeSantis torched his state for this. He blew up his state. He put a 6-week abortion ban in place. He ran Republicans around Tallahassee like his pets. And they are unhappy with him. He can't go back to Florida. There's no goodwill in Tallahassee for him because he forced Republicans to take some really ugly votes and went to war against Disney, and went to war against the cruise industry, and ruined the construction industry, and ruined the agricultural industry, and chased workers away. You could go on and on about the ways in which he's dismantled education and turned it into, anti-LGBTQ mania, which is not great for tourism, anti-blackness, like all of the enemies that he's created. I'm not sure what he does between now and 2028 that could actually get him back on a path to run for president again, because what does he have to show for it? He's going to go back there are already people in Tallahassee trying to undo some of the laws that they passed for him.
If Donald Trump wins in 2024, do we think there's going to be a 2028
There won't be anymore. There won't be anymore. He'll just be
this might be the last one.
Yeah.
Raise your hand.
Well, there's also just, timing is, I mean, you know this better than anyone, right? Timing is everything in politics, and particularly in presidential politics. And this was like the great question of Barack Obama, freshman senator sworn in 2005, convention speech in 2004. Obviously, he can't turn around and run for president a year and a half or 2 years later in 2007, and he did, and it turned out to be the right call. Chris Christie I think kind of missed the moment that he had. I think Ron DeSantis was too late to get in the race. Like, timing does matter.
It's the John McCain model. It's the one where you run in 2000, you come in second, and you get the nomination the next time. That's a play that people have run many, many times.
I think it's really interesting for Haley, though. So let's say 8 days from now she wins the New Hampshire primary. A big if. But if she does, she has to decide, is that it? Am I going to go meekly into the night? Or am I actually going to try and win this thing? And if she tries to win this thing, she's actually going to turn off even more Trump voters than she is today. So that's going to be fascinating to watch.